welcome everyone to, I guess it's our second this year, our second On Texas Football and third and Longhorn broadcast. We're coming to you live from San Antonio, Texas. Give it up for San Antonio. Let's go. They got a lot of Longhorns out here. I like it. Somebody was saying there's a lot of Aggies here. I hadn't seen it, so I see lots of orange. They're outside. They're outside in the rain. Well, we want to start off today. I'm going to introduce everybody. Then we're going to talk a little Texas football. I'm going to tee up some questions for the guys, try to stump them. And then we have a very special guest, a legendary San Antonio football player that we're going to bring out here. So stay tuned for that. But first, to my left, lifetime Longhorn, Jeremy Hills. Up third and Longhorn, the young prodigy, CJ Vogel of On Texas Football. The legend himself, Bobby Burton of On Texas Football. If you go there online, Bobby started it, whatever it is. It doesn't matter. Bobby started it.
Pretty much.
And a lifetime Longhorn, Rod Babers. Rod. I say it all the time. Rod has the greatest quote in the history of football. He said, "Nobody catches the ball on my side of the field, not even me." And then last but definitely not least, another absolute legend. I mean, I've been reading this guy's stuff for, I don't even know. It's been a while. Ladies and gentlemen, Jeff Howe. All right, so Hills, I'm gonna give you an easy one that you've already practiced once, but I know a big topic on everyone's mind after last year with the running game. We had our issues, and we did a lot to solve that this off season. So tell me a little bit about what we can expect from this new running back crop.
Yeah, we got some real talent back there, right? I think as a running back, you can expect a couple of things. Is that the guys up front are bigger than you, and you can hide behind them a little bit. You can expect that the way that you blocked it in practice is not the way that it shows up on Saturday. And you can expect that no matter how you draw it up, it always seems like there's one more free hitter than what you were expecting. And the great backs make it to where none of that matters. We got guys that can erase mistakes. Meaning that, like, the first guy is not going to bring them down. You look at Raleek Brown, you look at Hollywood Smothers, you look at them in space, you look at them between the tackles, especially Raleek Brown. I'm impressed with his contact balance. I'm impressed with his vision, his patience, his explosiveness, his power, his ability to get to the outside and make plays that you didn't even think that he'll be able to make, as well as push the pile inside and get those tough kind of gritty yards. And then I said this yesterday, you don't get a nickname like Hollywood Smothers if you are not an electrifying player. They don't normally say his game's boring. Let's call him Hollywood, right? This guy is electric. He is electric. When you really look at him in the open field and you look at what he can do, he's the kind of guy where you blocked it for 6 or 7. He made one guy miss, and then you look up and it's a 30-yard game. Rod had an amazing take on how important explosive plays are going to be to the success of this Texas Longhorns football team this year. I guarantee when we look at the run game in a silo, he'll be responsible for 40% of them. He can go. He can really go the distance. I played with a kid named DJ Monroe, and man, let me tell you, I love DJ. Been known him forever. Known him since high school. DJ couldn't remember half the playbook. If we all put together all our coins and said, "Hey, we'll give it to you," he's gonna try as hard as it ain't gonna happen. But guess what? Didn't matter, because we knew that if you blocked it just halfway right, and he guessed halfway right, it could end up being an 80-yard touchdown the other way. That's what I'm saying. When I look at Hollywood's game, I look at somebody where I'm like, man, if they mess around and they fit the wrong gap, if they mess around and they miss an assignment, and he hits it the right way going full speed, it's almost. You remember Jadon Blue a couple of years ago? Oh yeah. You remember the college football playoff game where we played Clemson? Oh. Early fourth quarter. They fit the gap the wrong way. He's 2 steps on the outside, and it looked like it's going to, from the TV copy, I wasn't at the game. From the TV copy, it looked like he may get ankle tackled for 8, and the next thing you know, we're singing a fight song. This is that kind of situation.
Was that a slight because you didn't get tickets? So you're trying to lobby to get tickets? So,
I'm lobbying for tickets, right?
Well, you mentioned Hollywood. Tell me about Raleek Brown.
Yeah, no, that's what I was saying. His contact balance is amazing.
Oh, I thought you were still talking about.
No. Yeah,
talking about Hollywood. Yeah. The funny thing is, and they both said it when we got to interview them, was their games are so complementary. Everybody was like, "Well, this guy's going to do this, and this guy's going to do this." No, they both can do it all.
They can both do that, and that's where things get dangerous, because as a defense, when you're trying to prepare and you're trying to get a little tip, you're watching tape. You're like, okay. When they're third and medium to the boundary and the game is a one-score game and they haven't been passing well, what are some little run plays that they may want to sneak in there? And then what's the personnel grouping for those run plays? Like you're trying your hardest to find an edge based on what the tape says. But when you got guys that are interchangeable, it makes that disguise even tougher to like distinguish, because it doesn't matter. You know what's coming. You know what play call's coming in next. You hear it. You tell, and you can tell Relief, no, you stay in there. You got this one. Or you tell Hollywood, no, you stay in there. You can ride the hot hand, because it's not like we can't call a play because this guy is in, or we have to get this guy in to call this play. When they both can do it all, it makes it really, really fun for a play caller, and it makes it very tough on a defensive coordinator.
All right, CJ, your turn. I like that, Hills. Okay,
I did too.
A big topic this offseason was the change in defensive coordinator, right? You've been out there. You've gotten to see some of this practice, some of these scrimmages, et cetera. What have you seen from Will Muschamp? What's different? What excites you?
Well, you hear it before you ever see it, right? I think that's the big thing with Will Muschamp is the fire, the passion, the energy it's completely different than with Pete Kwiatkowski. And again, Pete Kwiatkowski, X's and O's, especially on the front seven, very good. The Texas defense over the last few years, is not necessarily always the issue, right? But I think there's a different level to bringing energy with Muschamp. And we talked about it last night down in Houston. Sometimes, you play an 11 a.m. game and it's not always the prettiest location. It's not always the game folks get up for. Texas certainly probably won't always circle games like this on the schedule. You might get hit in the mouth once or twice before you finally wake up and say, all right, let's get going. That's not going to be the case with Will Muschamp. And we talked about it all offseason, the ability to really unlock your havoc creators. That's Colin Simmons, Raheem Biles. I'm starting to put Grayson Littleton into that conversation, Jelani McDonald back deep. The way that you move those chess pieces around the board, no longer are you stuck with one queen piece with Colin Simmons. Or in previous years, Anthony Hill was one of those guys that you basically treated like a rook. And if you can't tell, I've been playing a lot of chess. But
humble, subtle brag there.
But the point being is, with Muschamp, all of those guys will be unleashed, right? In a way that I don't think a lot of opposing offensive coordinators and quarterbacks are going to look forward to playing for 4 hours against the Texas defense. So you're going to have some pretty energetic, passionate defenses that are going to have a fire lit under them before they even touch the field for warmups. And that's going to translate, that's going to travel. And I hope by the end of it, we look at what the identity of this Texas defense is, really this Texas team, even with Arch Manning and this offense in general, and say, boy, you don't want to play that defense. And that's going to be really important if Texas hopes to play 15, 16, 17 games this year.
All right, Bobby. Arch Manning. CJ teased it. He's been a name that everyone's talked about all offseason. Every other team talks about him. Every site wants the clicks, so that's all everybody talks about. We actually get to see him. We get to like see up close what he does. What have you seen from him, and what improvements have you seen from last year that you expect to see this year translate on the field?
Well, I think I haven't seen a ton of improvement. You just don't see it that way. It's been gradual. He wasn't involved in spring. The 2 scrimmages I've went to, he's been harassed, basically. I think that the issue that you have with Arch is this. I think his best traits are things that, outside of a deep ball that I think he throws as well as anybody, and just his durability and strength as a runner, his best strength is actually his competitive nature. I mean, I talk about this a lot. When Texas played Florida last year, there are a number of quarterbacks that I don't think get up off the carpet. Marcel Reed would have been cut in half in that game had he had that kind. I mean, he's just not built big enough. Julian Sayin, the same thing at Ohio State. These are really good quarterbacks. I'm not knocking them as a quarterback per se, but they just don't have the physical nature to withstand that. And he got back up off the carpet and led his team the best he knew how. Even Florida, Texas lost that game 21-29. And Arch Manning was giving it everything he got when his left guard couldn't find his man. And he looked lost. Yeah, it was the offensive line in that game looked a little bit like the Keystone Cops. But I think that my point on it for Arch is I can't sit here and tell you he's improved in this way and that way. I haven't seen it yet. Nobody has until you see him in live fire. But am I confident he worked on everything this summer? Yes. Am I confident that he wants to start quicker? I think that was one of the best questions someone asked during the Tuesday media press availability. Somebody asked, last year you started slow. What are you trying to do this year? And he's like, I know I have to start fast. I know we have to start fast. So it's on his mind. And I think it's such a cerebral position. He took such good care of the ball last year. If he can just replicate that, Texas is going to win a lot of football games. And he's going to be he's already a good quarterback. That's one thing I don't think people understand. They want to, how much is he improving? Is he going to hit the glance route better or the crossing route or whatever you want to say? They don't realize he's already good. You're talking about levels, and I'm a big believer. I haven't asked Jeremy about his belief here, but I'm a huge believer in Arch Manning, what he brings to the table overall, not just as a player.
Yes.
So.
Well, Rod, another big piece of the offseason was the move, not just Will Muschamp, but to bring back Blake Gideon. And I think that's got a lot of people excited, especially for what our secondary can do. I think there's a lot of pieces there. Can you tell us what you've seen and what you expect from this secondary, especially under Gideon?
Yeah, I expect the secondary to be a little more polished and buttoned up. I think they were sloppy last year. Especially in some of the big games, Georgia game, a lot of coverage busts, a lot of mental mistakes. Same thing happened in the Vanderbilt game. Remember that fourth quarter in the Vanderbilt game, gave up 21 points. Supposed to win that game by a blowout. And I think at times with PK's defense, that just the coverages didn't match what was happening on the front and with the pressure packages. With Muschamp coming in and with Blake Gideon, because Blake Gideon and Muschamp, they see football the same way. I do think you'll have better, at least compatibility between the coverages and the fronts and the pressure packages. You got an aggressive front and aggressive pressure package, you're going to have an aggressive coverage called with it. And there were times where PK would have a very kind of a lackadaisical coverage, if you will, with an aggressive pressure. It just didn't make any sense. So I think you'll have the marrying the fronts and the coverages. Also, you're going to have more man-to-man coverage. So I think that'll help with the coverage bust too, because Muschamp's going to empower his defensive backs to play more man coverage. We talked about this yesterday. There'll probably be less on their plate mentally, because when you're playing a lot of zone coverage, you got to diagnose routes. You're reading the quarterback, reading number one, reading number two. There's a lot of the mental process you go through playing zone coverage. Your eyes have to be very disciplined. In man coverage, it's pretty simple. You just cover that man. Like that guy, whoever that guy is, you cover that guy. And I think Muschamp's defense is going to simplify things to that extent. Also, but Muschamp is going to demand physicality out of that group as well. So I think you'll get a more physical secondary. Remember how Texas secondary played in that Michigan game? You remember how many times that Texas DBs laid haymakers on Michigan players? I didn't even recognize some of those DBs out there, the way how physical they were playing. I don't know for a fact, but after listening to my man Jay Hills describe Muschamp's philosophy, which is a hammer and a nail, that's what football's about. I got a feeling that Muschamp spoke his mind to that defense, and people understood, hey, I need to make an impression on Muschamp. And the way you do that is physicality. So that's non-negotiable in that secondary. You would not have a soft secondary. You will have a secondary that wants to hit and be physical, and a violent secondary too. About the competitions that's going on, there's only one real competition. That's the safety position opposite Jelani McDonald. I think you're going to be fine there. I think Jonah Williams, if he stays healthy, knock on wood, if he stays healthy, you could see him make a move like Cade Phillips made last year, like late in the season, where he basically took that starting job from Jalen Gilbo. Well, maybe Gilbo lost the job. I'm not sure which one, but he ended up taking that job. He ended up overtaking him in that competition. If Jonah's healthy, because he's a prodigy, I could see him doing something like that. because the game would slow down for him tremendously. Sark has already said he's starting to make more plays and starting to see the game better as he's getting more reps. He's never really played football at the college level this early in the season because he's been unhealthy. So I could see him truly making a move if he does stay healthy late in the season. I think Derek Williams will start the season as the safety. I'm not going to guarantee he's going to finish the season as that starting safety because they may find a better option between a Jonah Williams improving or maybe a Kobe Black getting more comfortable with that spot. But either way, I don't see that as being a weakness. I do think it's still just a question mark in the secondary, but Cade Phillips is going to be a dog. Bo Masco, I hear, is making tons of plays in practice. Jerry has a stat that he had. How many PBUs?
48.
48 PBUs in 15 practices. Guys, I want to say the record for PBUs in a season is like 27, 28 or something like that. Something crazy. I mean, that dude can end up challenging a record for PBUs if he has that kind of season. And I also think Grayson Littleton could end up becoming a star. The more and more I hear about him, I keep hearing, like Sark says, he practices harder than anybody else. When I met the young man for the first time, like Coach Akina introduced me to him. He's like, hey, this is Grayson Littleton. I'm hearing about he's going to end up, starting potentially as a true freshman. I'm like, all right, I got to talk to you young buck. Coach, he's like, hey, he's the real deal, babies. I'm telling you, man, he's got the mental makeup. That's how Coach Akina talks. And then, so I go, all right, let me talk to him. And I probably he was leaving practice, and I got a chance to break down the DBs. 2 minutes with this young man. He probably asked me 10 questions in 2 minutes. He just was like a sponge. He's like, so what do you recommend I do after practice? Did you come early for practice? Before practice? What do you think about man coverage? Do you like to play bump and run? How's your leverage? What do you like? I'm like, man, he's just coming at me. I'm like, So he is so hungry for football knowledge and thirsty for football knowledge. I can totally see him now. Everybody talking about him, taking these leaps in improvement in his development. I could see it because all off season, if he approached me like that, and I'm not a legend or anything. Every time he meets a great football player, he probably has that same, or a great coach, he probably has that same attitude. How can I get better? That's all I care about. How can you make me better? How can this relationship improve me as a football player? That's what I want to know. That's what he wants to know from me. And I felt bad because I don't think I gave him enough. I'm like, man, I gave him a couple of nuggets, but I wanted to give him more. I think that's why he's going to be really good this year.
That's awesome. All right, Jeff, you get the hard one, but you get the one that everyone wants to hear the answer to. Offensive line. Is it are things going to be better than last year?
Thank you for that one, Nick. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. You can just use one
but,
word.
Yeah, not only do I have to follow Rod, but I get the curveball. Now, look, I think what's different about the offensive line for starters is, and we've seen it in camp because Trevor Gooseby going down with the knee injury. Lawrence Seymour's kind of in and out. They have options. It's not a deal where, hey, let's just roll the freshman in at guard against Florida and hope for the best. Hope is not a strategy, and unfortunately it was last year. And I think what they've done on the offensive line, I think it speaks to kind of the mentality Sark had going into this season as opposed to last season. We know was there kind of a hangover from the Ohio State game, and were there some things left unchecked? Probably. Sark just left way too many things to chance last year, and they hadn't been like him. He was really good about not leaving things to chance, and they did with the offensive line. But Dylan Sikorsky's gotten really valuable reps with the ones with Seymour out. Andre Kojo's had a heck of a camp, by all indications. And, I didn't know it's, and Jeremy, you know this, and Rod, you know this, having dealt with injuries, especially with big guys. You don't know a big guy coming off a knee injury, how that's going to impact him. With some guys, they heal pretty quick. Some guys, it may take an additional year before you're back. Kojo bounced back faster than I thought he would. He's your number 3 tackle. So I do think you've got options, number one. Number two, and I think, again, this speaks to their evaluations in the portal. They hit on Melvin Siani. Like, I think they knew, and then Sark said that publicly. I think they knew he was good. I don't think they knew how good he was or what the ceiling could be. There's a chance he may be a one-and-done type guy because he may be a draft pick after the year. I think kicking Brandon Baker inside to guard, it's been great for him. And I think it's been great for the offense. So I just think the makeup of this group, not just your starters, but you're starting to develop some backups that you can count on. You're already in a much better place than you were last year. And then Connor Robertson, the center, is the guy that holds everything together. What I'm interested to see, first off, I do think this will be a very good line in pass protection. like Siani and Trevor Gooseby, like all these guys. Lawrence Seymour did it at Western Kentucky. Like all these guys have that on their resume. They're really good pass blockers. And again, I think Brandon Baker gives you a lot of athleticism at guard. What I am interested to see, and I think this kind of goes back to Jeremy talking about the running backs. Can Sark marry the run game schemes with his personnel on the offensive line? You may want to be a predominantly wide zone team. That may not be what your personnel dictates you need to be. But the good thing with this group is I think you do have the ability to be a little more flexible than you were last year. And I think that's not just your personnel on the offensive line. I think that's your personnel at running back. I think we also need to factor in Arch is the +1 in the run game with his legs, and you have to account for him in the run game. And then, tight end factors into this too, and that's one of the positions that's really kind of an X factor position in this offense. Like we don't know a ton about that. We know Sark loves to run 12 personnel. Like Sark loves his 2 tight end sets. If you're gonna run 12 personnel with this offense, those tight ends better be good, because that means that's Emmett Mosley's not getting snaps, or Jermaine Bishop's not getting snaps, or one of the backs isn't getting snaps. So you've got the tools, Nick, to be much better, a much more consistent team running the football. And that's really what I want to see. Like explosive plays, all that's nice. But even you go back to like 2024, it couldn't be a deal where you're just running the ball almost at will against Clemson, and then against Arizona State and Ohio State, you can't bust a grape. Like the bar's got to be a little bit higher for consistency. I do think you've got the tools with this group to do that, though. But again, I think for me, it goes back to, I think you've got options. You've got legit options if you have to go into your depth, which they didn't have that last year.
That's awesome. Okay. This is going to be a little more round robin. This is kind of how we did it last night. I want to do 1, maybe 2, and then let's bring out our special guests if you guys are cool with that. All right. This schedule, Texas plays basically an NFL schedule this year. It is. There's not a week off. We all know the games that all of us have circled on the calendar, right? It's Ohio State, it's Texas A&M, it's OU. What other game are you guys looking at as, hey, this one's key, or oh, this one's gonna be a fun one. This one's gonna be a trap game.
I'm sorry. Hey, your foot. Missouri. Missouri's the answer.
Is this other than the rivals?
Oh, yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, I was saying you can't name Ohio State, Texas A&M, or OU.
Okay.
Missouri. They don't classify as it.
Missouri.
I can't pick the rivals.
Yeah. Why Missouri?
Missouri, I still think. Look, I think Eli
He was waiting
Drinkwitz.
for you to ask. He's like,
Eli Drinkwitz is one of the more underrated coaches in the SEC. Probably the entire country. It's Missouri. What have they done since Chase Daniel on the national scale? Probably not a lot, right? Yet every year they're competitive with the teams that have significantly more talent. They run the football very well every year. Every year they run the football well. Cody Schrager had 2,000 yards about 4 years ago. Where's he? Out of the league, right? He's a guy, that scheme is very difficult. Now, again, Missouri is probably going to fall into one of those conversations categories of Arkansas, right? Texas, Missouri, they have a history there. I don't think anybody in this bar would consider Missouri a rival, but I know that when Texas travels to Columbia, they're going to be thrilled because they want a chance to upset Texas. I look at that with Austin Simmons coming in, who, let's not forget, beat out Trinidad Chambliss before getting injured at Ole Miss last year, as an upgrade over Bo Pribula as well. On the road, 11 a.m., that just feels like a game that you sleep through. Like a Kentucky was a year ago, that's a game that you sleep through because you're not going to get as excited for a Knoxville or a Baton Rouge the way you would for going to Columbia.
At least they've changed the turf in Columbia from the last time Texas was there. So,
seriously, where's Fozzie when you need him?
Rod, didn't you have a pick 6 against Missouri?
I did my freshman year. Yeah,
That's the Texas Missouri history I like getting into.
Yeah, your memory is freaky, man. I forgot about that.
It's
pick six
crazy.
myself. That's
Yeah.
crazy. So, any game other than the rivals in Ohio State? You taking any of those?
Anybody else? They're for
I think you just got to go. That LSU game feels, now that Lane Kiffin is truly trying to cement himself as one of the key villains of this college football season, and LSU is in the villain, they're true villains now too. I feel like that, and you got the Arch Louisiana tie-in. Texas was supposed to go down to LSU after they won the national title. COVID ended up canceling that trip. I think we were all planning on going down there. So you got that, and then Sark and Lane are pretty close, right? They text messages and they're best buddies. And I threw this out there too, and me and Jeff have talked about this, guys. Last time Muschamp was a head coach, the game right before he got fired was when he played against Lane Kiffin, coached against Lane Kiffin. You could make the argument, I'm not saying it is, that Lane Kiffin put it on him so bad that they decided, final straw, Muschamp's gone. Gave up more points than any Muschamp defense ever to a Lane Kiffin offense. He's never allowed more points than he's allowed to Lane Kiffin that day. So I think Muschamp, he may not talk about it. Muschamp is thinking about that.
Think Muschamp got that one circled?
I guarantee he does. He remembers that one. So I think it's a lot. I don't know. It's a lot of storylines, and I feel like a lot of people who are not predicting Texas to go undefeated, unless you're predicting that, are circling that as like that may be the L in the season. That it's at a perfect place in the season too. Later on in the season, LSU probably has worked out the kinks in that Lane Kiffin offense, and that'll be enough time has passed, enough games of a sample size where offenses will know how to attack the Muschamp defense by then. I think early on, Muschamp will have a huge advantage because nobody knows how a Muschamp defense is going to look. It's totally mysterious. But by then, you'll have 7 games to look at and build an offensive game plan. So I feel like that's the one. That's a huge game for me, in my opinion.
Yeah, you're right. Because every preview I've seen, anytime somebody's trying to pick Texas going undefeated, they always say, well, they're for sure gonna get one loss, and they always pick LSU every single site.
That's they won.
Walk with me for a second here.
Come on.
Here we go.
Just walk with me. Who's been a pain in our ass over the last 2 seasons?
Georgia?
Bingo.
Ohio State.
Both.
Conference play.
You know Georgia's not on the schedule, right? You look this up.
Georgia. Who Georgia lose to in the playoffs last year?
Ole Miss.
Who was one pass interference call away from being in the national championship game last year? Ole Miss. You look at a clear pass interference that just, we don't call it, and now Miami goes and gets, we get a good game. We actually get a good game. I look at Ole Miss. I look at what they got coming back, and I don't understand why we're not talking about them. Trinidad Chambers is probably one of the most special players that's touching the football in college football right now. It's just the facts. You look at Kewan Lacey Jr. in the backfield. He is explosive, and he is a weapon in the pass game. Georgia found that out the hard way. You look at Deuce Alexander on the outside who transferred in, and I'm like, hey, one of the best in the country right there. And then our old buddy, Jonte Cook, is on the other side.
That's right.
This is one of the most explosive offenses in the country that's going to come visit us on the 40 acres. It's going to be a test for Muschamp, and we're going to have to score some points. Right? I look at Ole Miss, and I'm like, they were on the doorstep. They were on the doorstep. And they've proven that they'll slay that giant that we haven't slain yet.
There.
And I'm looking arguably, way too early prediction. One of your Heisman finalists is going to be walking into that stadium to compete. I think Trinidad Chambers is going to be finding himself in New York, sitting down, figuring out if he's going to win a trophy. If he stays healthy and had a season that it does not seem far-fetched that he will have. So I look at Ole Miss and I'm like, hey, Texas, hey, we got some football to play.
It's a good pick.
I can't believe y'all didn't. We're sitting here in San Antonio. You didn't say UTSA.
That's Bobby's answer.
Eeny, meeny, miny. I'm going with Jeremy. Ole Miss for me.
There we go.
Best player, I think. They've got in baseball, it's called the battery, the pitcher and the catcher. They've got the best pitcher in the league, probably in Trinidad Chambers, and I think they've got the best running back in the league too, in Kewan Lacey. So, and they have talent on defense. Pete Golding's a defensive coordinator. They'll be a tough out for everybody. Now, I want to say this about both LSU and Ole Miss. They play that game early against one another. Yeah, and it could be, I could go either way based on how that game goes between those two, if that makes sense. So if Ole Miss comes out on top, which I think they will, I think Ole Miss is better than LSU, then I think it's Ole Miss that'll be the problem because it'll be riding high, and LSU will be kind of finding their way with a new head coach. And so that I would lean to Ole Miss personally.
I will bring up the SEC opponent Texas lost to last year that's on the schedule. Florida's really talented. Like, we know that. Like, you look at that roster. I mean, there's NFL draft picks up and down that roster. But just the way Sark, I think, has talked about that game, the way the players have talked about that game. You went and hired Jabbar Jalouk. You went and hired Billy Gonzalez to be on your staff. I think that is one that if this team gets a chance to send a message, I think they will do it against Florida. Like, I think that is one. You lost to Ohio State. You lost to Georgia. I think that Florida game is the one that these guys go to bed at night being like, that's the one that kept us out of the playoffs. No reason to lose that game. We were a better team. I think if Texas gets a chance to prove they're a better team against Florida, they'll do it. But that is a really, really talented roster.
Nick, if I can say this real quick, I misunderstood the question. Missouri's not the answer.
I think you answered it correctly, because I also said could be a game that trips you up.
A sleeper game.
Yeah.
That's what he's
You're
going
fine.
for.
You're fine. You don't have to backtrack. Stick with it. You got this. Well, folks, I think we should bring out our special guest, don't you guys?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. But I'm gonna take a second, and I'm just gonna read off about this gentleman. His time at Texas: 2-time second team All Big 12 selection, 2011 Big 12 Newcomer of the Year, second team freshman All-American. But I like this part. Named to the Big 12 Commissioner's Honor Roll his last 2 seasons at Texas. That one's for my parents. I care about school finally. All right, I just want to go through these stats, and then we're going to bring him out. In high school, 629 carries for 6,180 yards, 9.82 yards per carry, 71 touchdowns.
What was his yards per carry?
9.82. You just had to fall forward on second down to get a first down. 176.5 yards per game. He led his team their first ever Class 5A Division II state championship, Prep All-American, USA All-American. At Texas, 630 carries, 2,678 yards, 4.3 yards per carry, 24 touchdowns. I can keep going. I got his NFL stats too. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome San Antonio legend Malcolm Brown.
It's like retired life. Yeah, retired life is good.
What's going on, everybody?
You got to grab that one. So, Malcolm, I always start these off the same way, and I ask people how they got to Texas. That's part 2 of the question, because you told me a fact that I think we need to take clear advantage of, and I might only get one question, so I want to ask this first. You said Jeremy Hills was your road roommate at Texas. I need at least one good story about Jeremy Hills that will make him a little
This is not about me today, guys.
I think the people would enjoy this.
Man, one story. I can't reveal all the stories.
Was it PG-13? PG-13.
He might not have been in the room a couple of times. No, man. I honestly, no. Jay Hills was honestly a great roommate, and that was definitely a joke what I just said. But he's because we had curfew. They wasn't playing. They wasn't playing.
They didn't play.
Yeah, no, they ain't playing that. But no, seriously, like Jay Hills was a guy that coming into Texas as I was highly recruited, just the pressures that come with the Longhorn emblem, all that type of stuff, man. Like Jay Hills was a guy that I was really able to, be comfortable with, lean on, really hear from in a serious way, like in a real way. Just coming in and just dealing with all the things that come with Texas, right? And somebody that kind of taught me to have fun with it. It's a lot of stuff that goes on in a young man's mind as we play in this game, right? And so Jay Hills was truly like, I think we chopping it up, every night about just random stuff, different stuff that just had me comfortable in my zone. You know what I'm saying? And so literally every single away game, like I was looking forward to, because I knew like that night, like me and Jeremy gonna chop it up about something. You know what I'm saying? So Jay Hills was that type of guy that was really somebody I can lean on for real.
No, that's awesome. Well, somebody said he was a nerd.
Look, no, he said give us some dirt. He said, give us some dirt.
He said he was a nerd. I was like, wait.
They had us on lockdown, man. I'm trying to tell you, they had us on lockdown. They was not playing that at all.
Well, I do want to hear why you chose Texas, but then I want to tee it up for everybody so you guys get your questions ready, and we can kind of go around and ask Malcolm some questions. So why'd you pick Texas? You could have gone anywhere.
Man, Texas, it was a lot about the people that were there. I did have, I could have chose anywhere to go, but I think when I took the visit and I was meeting some of the guys there, I'm meeting guys like Fozzie, I'm meeting guys like Jay Hills. Marquise Goodwin was a big part of my recruiting. Keenan Robinson was a big part of my recruiting. Just the staff, right? The people. We all know and love Coach Brown, right? And it was just, he was that type of guy, and he still is. Like I actually just saw him not too long ago, and he has so much energy in that. He just has a feel to him. He has that thing when you just around somebody and you just feel good just being near him, And he had that same thing when I was getting recruited, and then obviously, it's an hour down the road, and Texas had just came off of a natty visit, I want to say, and then the next year it was a down year. It went, I think we had like 5 wins or something, but at the same time, it was still Texas though. Like, it was like, yeah, we win 5 and 7, cool, but like, come on, like it's Texas. So yeah, like, the comfortability with my parents, obviously, like being far enough away to where I was on my own, but at the same time, like they made every game, hour and a half down the road is right there. So it was the people, Nick. It was a lot about the people that were surrounding, and then just the stories that I know, and I'm realizing now of like, once you're done with the game, it's still so connected. All you got to do is reach out, and so it was the people.
That's cool. All right, who's next?
What was your most joyful moment on the 40 acres? You look back on it now, you're like, man, that's pure joy. Just. Was it a touch? Was it on the field? Like, let me know.
Man, I think there was a lot of joyful moments. I ain't gonna lie to you. It was a lot.
I can tell by the look on your face.
It was a lot, man. I think really the locker room camaraderie was just something that, I'm realizing like you can't get that back. Like, you can still be in touch with your guys. You can still visit them. You can still be around, but like, just being in a locker room where you're in a space where it doesn't matter your skin color, your race, your religion, like any view on anything, but like the man next to you got your back. Like, so that daily just energy that you get within a locker room, like, dog, it's just something that you can't beat that. Like that was it. And then obviously, for the parents, I graduated as well. That was a joy, but that was love. That was cool. Prestigious university, to be able to graduate was amazing.
Well, I guess building on that, because we've heard all off season about Culture Wednesdays and start getting the team together earlier this year. They moved back into the dorms for fall camp this year. Mm-hmm. What was that like? The off season summer conditioning workouts. I mean, how tough was it? But also, how important is that for you and your brothers on the team to come together and really gel and build that bond before the season begins?
Man, that's a real thing, because I feel like even today, as dang, Jay Hills, how long we been out of college? Shoot.
Hey, don't put me up there with you.
We even like today, right? Like, I can connect with somebody I haven't seen in so long, and it's just like an instant like energy that you feel, and it's because of those days. Like, you grinding, like you can't move your body, like you can't get up, but like somehow you find it within yourself because you see your homie getting ready for the next rep, and they're they encouraging you, and sometimes you have your days where you're homie on the ground and you ready to go that day, and it's that encouragement. And so it's just all about, that energy that it builds. Like that is it's like a lifetime thing. I can see somebody today, like, I don't care if you was a starter or a walk-on, like it's that connection holds so heavily, like within your spirit, within your soul. Like it's something super different to go through a real grind like that. Cause I think it became normal to us as players to work out like that. But like, it was some freakish stuff that we were doing. You know what I'm saying?
It's not normal.
Yeah. So like, to be able to go through that, like with somebody, you just know they got your back, like through anything.
Is it kind of crazy that like we voluntarily would skip our summer vacation and decide as a group that we're going to show up at the same time every day and die?
Oh yeah, got real.
Barely make it. Crawl to the locker room and say, "See you tomorrow."
Same time.
Same time.
That is crazy. Like,
I look back on some of those workouts, bro.
Yeah.
Man, listen.
Yeah.
I jumped from the second stair in my house the other day. I almost had to call her. I just don't know. Okay, back question, quick, because none of that's a question. It's just as I'm listening to Mal talk.
I triggered something. I'm sorry.
I'm like,
that's what I'm talking about.
That's what it is. No, you don't understand.
We'll let Fozzie know you admitted to being old finally. So
It's so hot outside that the bottom of your cleats melts off on the turf.
True story.
In the solution by the authorities was to double up on socks. He needs some more socks. No, we need to go inside.
True story.
This is true. But Mal, I guess my question is, when I think about you, I think about like how highly recruited you were when you came in. One thing, so like the early commitments, the early enrollees was a big thing back in the day, right? You trying to see like who's coming in, you paying attention to National Signing Day, the whole thing. We would be in the dining hall and we'll just be watching to see who's coming in. Yeah. And then, that was one of the rare times that somebody's cracking open that UTSU laptop and they trying to see, well, who is this person, right? and everybody was excited when you see Mal's tape, right? And football is one of the weirdest sports in the world because I know that Malcolm is coming to Texas to take my spot. But the grind that is, the journey to success creates a bond and a relationship to where me and him competed every single day and scratched for every single rep. But then when we showed up on Saturday and the reps were assigned, it's like, this is my biggest cheerleader, I'm his biggest cheerleader, right? We giving each other everything. Hey, they playing just know if they call that same side counter, they're gonna try to play it like this. This is what I'm seeing. Like you really are helping each other out. Miles was that kind of player from day one. From day one, he was honest. You had to get him to come out of his shell. He was so quiet. And then, eventually, he started talking with his pad. Question, because I've been rambling. When did Texas turn into your team? When was that moment where it wasn't this super talented player who was pretty quiet and just contributing? And now, guys like Fozzie were, entering the old folks' home. Guys like me,
there it is.
Guys like me were graduating and being young and vibrant. It's like, and guys like you were like the leaders. Like, when was that moment? Because I wasn't there, right? So when was that moment? But I could see it on TV. When was that moment when I'm like, this is Malcolm Brown's team?
Man, I think I started feeling that feeling probably my junior year. My freshman year had a pretty good year. Got banged up that year. Sophomore year, early I got banged up, came back, but it wasn't the same. But the junior year, when I kind of felt that injury, that energy around myself and a lot of the guys that came in with me, it was like, it's time, right? You got the Quandre Diggs, the Cedric Reeves, the Steve Edmonds. Like, I think a lot of us started like really feeling comfortable like that junior year. You kind of get 2 seasons under your belt. Obviously some guys feel it earlier. Quandre is one of those guys. Like, he came in, he'd been in that culture for so long. Like, it was like that. But at the same time, for me, I think it was my junior year, because I came off of those 2 seasons and I was so like, I was almost disappointed in myself. Like, I put more pressure on myself than anybody else. But like, I was just like, okay, these past 2 years, not really what I wanted. But this junior year is like, I can't sit back anymore. Like, I really got to take life in this season like by the neck and really dive in. I think that might have been my best year, even over my senior year, I want to say. But yeah, it was the junior year during that training camp. Like, I came in like on 10, like really feeling it, like within myself. Obviously I wasn't out there. I've never been the rah-rah guy, but I feel like people felt it though. Like, felt it in my energy when I was walking around, how I practice. Like, it was that time, like like junior year for sure. Yeah.
I got to ask you this. It goes beyond Texas for you. You played in the NFL for Rod and I were talking about it. Your pro career lasted longer than a lot of people realize, actually. Perseverance. You also had a lot of injuries. Football's not an easy sport, but you had some particularly tough ones. How this mentally were you in love with football? You love the sport? What is it about you that allowed you to have that perseverance to play so long? Because you really did. I mean, you had a long NFL career. Yeah. Congratulations. But what was it about you personally, you think, that allowed you and brought that out in you?
Yeah, I think I was just obsessed with like competing. Some, competing against other players, but a lot with myself too. Like, it was something about like, it was never good enough. Like, I gotta keep I have to keep going. Like, it's always been like that. And I think that was been my it was an advantage mentally that I had, but I also, like, now looking at it, it could have also been like almost my weakness a little bit, like how obsessed like I was, how much pressure I put on myself. Like, it was serious. I don't think nobody really like saw it in the facility, but like when I'm by myself, like it was, man, like it was just one of those things too. Like, not even now when I look back at it, it's like, okay, if I wasn't this focused, wasn't this tunnel vision, would I have made it that long? But then at the same time, I look back and I'm like, dang, like, you should have had a little bit more fun, bro.
I tried to tell him. Yeah. We gotta have some fun.
Yeah, man, it was like real deal blinders. Like, if tunnel vision is here, like, I was like this. You know what I'm saying? Like, closing one eye and looking. You know what I'm saying? I was just obsessed with like competing. Like, I wanted to be like better. Like this ain't enough. And it was just an obsession. Like,
hyper focused.
Yeah, it
like really into it.
Yeah,
no, that's how he actually was. Like from day one. From day one, he let me get this off your mouth. When I think about Mal, I think about Major Applewhite used to give us these tests the night before a game. It's the most annoying thing in the world. But
Applewhite.
Oh my gosh, it's so annoying. But we would have all the meetings. You'd go through these meetings all day, and then every other position group used to already be in the dining hall getting some ice cream. And stop me when I start lying, okay? And Major Applewhite would have the running backs in the hotel in a little corner, and he would give us these tests Friday as soon as we got to the bus to then travel to the plane to go to the game. And then after all the meetings are over, it's now like 9:30 at night. Am I lying yet? We're the only guys in here. And he'd be like, y'all got those tests? And I'd be like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. They're getting all the ice cream. They're getting all the ice cream. And I'm looking at this test, that has the same questions from last week. but I'm laughing, even though I'm still, me and Major got to talk about that. It's like, but
You gotta unpack this.
Mal, like you imagine these tests are almost like some are like fill in the blank and some are actual like open-ended in the sense of like it was like he would draw something up because it'd be little nuance changes that you make to certain runs and certain calls depending on what you see from the defense, right? So you can call the exact same play 11 weeks in a row and you run it slightly different based on what you're seeing. So he would then write out whatever the little thing is, and he wants you to draw out in detail what the nuance change would be. Mine and Cody Johnson, it was like, you get the point, man. It's like, look, listen, we more Will Muschamp, Hairman and now. Like, it's like, listen, yeah, all right, same side counter. If this guy comes here, you go there. Like Malcolm's drawings. Malcolm's drawings was like the work of like Picasso. Like it was like perfectly drawn circles. And if he messed up on a circle, he got to ball it up and get a new sheet. I'm like, and I would see him in the room, like working on this stuff, and I'm like, hey, you gotta stop. You know how to run same side counter. Like, but when he talks about being obsessed, and I look at him and I look at the career that he had and the success that he's had, I think that how dialed you were was a part of that. And I think it's a million roads to success because I found my own and I was never that dialed. But I look at Mal and I'm like, yeah, it wasn't about even turning this test into a major. It was like, this is a part of who he is, right? The way that he even approached same side counter. And like, bro, that was day one install. That was day one install in January. It is now October. Major has the nerve to be asking about this. And Malcolm's taking his time, like really drawing it perfect, right? But how you do anything is how you do everything. I tell you, like, yeah, you could look backwards and wish you had as much fun as me. Or you can look at the career you had.
Facts, yeah.
And know that your focus was probably a part of that.
Yeah, for sure. And Bobby, to extend on that too, like as Jay Hills was talking, I thought about something too. Like I was also obsessed with like, how do I explain? Like if somebody says you like can't do something, like I'm like obsessed with like doing that. Like even if everybody over here and they just like you can't, if the average of the regular NFL player is 2-3 years, like I have to go get 6 or 8. Like it was just a part of me. Like pass protection is the hardest thing to do a running back. That's literally what I mastered. That's what kept me in the NFL. But it was just like, that's just how I was. Like, okay, if this is the hardest thing, like I gotta like try to figure out how to do it. It's just like a puzzle you can't figure out. Like you gotta sit there. That's just how my brain is. Like, and I just get obsessed with, people saying you can't do something.
I think Major had that figured out about you.
He did, because he
knew how to.
Man.
Malcolm is the most even kill.
You right on that.
He shows up every single day the exact same way. Like we would try to do little stuff to like get under. You can't get under his skin, right? Except if your name is Major Apple. I think Major knew what buttons to push with Mal, trying to get him to get ready to play. But the craziest thing is that Mal already ready to play. He's gonna skip the rah-rah. You know what I'm saying? He's gonna skip that part about it. But some of my favorite parts is when he's talking about if you tell him he can't do something, and that's what he gonna. I would say Major was probably a part of that because
he used to talk shit, man.
Yeah, the way
I couldn't take it. I had to go like overboard.
Major used to be like, if I was 6 foot 230, I wouldn't be running soft.
Yeah.
like he would do little stuff to get under Malcolm's skin, man.
And I used to sit in that front row.
Malcolm was sitting in the front row.
Around, I wanted to just turn around and throw something at him or something like.
The way our running back room was set up is Major sits in the back so he could see everybody. Mm-hmm. And then like this screen is here. And then if y'all can imagine rows of seats that face the screen, Malcolm's sitting in the very front. All right. Major would be saying stuff to the group as he's staring at Malcolm. And all you would see is Malcolm head because he wouldn't turn around. He would just sit there just very still, very, 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 very still. And them two had this weird thing, but I mean, Major knew how to pull it out of you. He did. And I don't know. I think a part of that, like a part of your development in the pass pro and the part of your development as a back overall, man, that guy pushed the right buttons.
He did. He definitely said, "Oh, y'all have no idea, man." After college and then a little bit into my NFL career, like I did have like a huge reflective moment. I was like, "Dang, I finally know what Major was doing."
Yeah,
Straight up.
yeah.
Like it took me a minute. Like all throughout, like I feel like even when I got done at Texas, like I was beefing with Coach Applewhite still. Like I was mad at bro, and then like it just clicked for me. Like early in my NFL career, I'm like, dang. That's what he was doing. But I appreciate Coach Applewhite.
The craziest thing Malcolm ever said, this is the craziest that it got for Mal. Major could take it a little far sometimes. And he did. And I remember all Malcolm said was, "Hey, bro." That was it. We were looking like, where's the rest of the sentence? Where's the rest of the sentence? What you hey, bro, what? But
A few words.
yeah.
Well, Mal, I'm glad you answered Jeremy's question earlier the way you did about, when it kind of felt like your team, you go back to 2013 and kind of see your growth through that year. I think it culminated right across the parking lot from where we're at against Oregon in that Alamo Bowl. I know the parabolic mic caught you saying some not safe for work language on got bumped out of bounds a little bit. But I think that started, and since I've been doing this, one of my favorite games ever is the 2013 season, that OU game. And for you vividly, there's a run early in that game. I think it's a 4th and 2, 4th and 3. And you come off the left side, like lower his shoulder, bowl a guy over, like you get up and you're about as, they're watching from your sophomore year of high school up till then, as demonstrative as I had ever seen you to that point. Was that the game and that the moment where you felt like, yeah, I can do this? Like you felt the comfort level, and what was it so special about that game specifically that you guys were able to control it the way you did?
Man, I'm gonna tell y'all a story that led up to that, man. I'm glad you said that because to Jeremy's question, I think that was the exact answer. And your memory better than mine. I took a couple shots to the head.
By the way, can we talk about Jeff? Jeff is unbelievable.
Well, I was going to say, I feel old because you run it off Malcolm's high school stats. I'm like, I watched a decent number of those carries. So
yeah, I've actually known Jeff for a super long time. So it was cool seeing your face walk in. But to that moment, what's crazy is like I think my junior year, I wasn't getting the carries I thought I would. And we had some talented dudes. Like you got Jay Gray is in there, who is all world. Joe Bergeron, who is probably bigger than me, but might be the most athletic dude. Like he was the truth, right? And so I think I wasn't getting the carries I thought, I would. And man, I can't remember exactly, but there was a conversation that was had with me, Applewhite, and I think even my parents were a part of it, right? And I think Applewhite pulled that same type of thing in the first half of that season, right? And was kind of like I was getting some love, but it just wasn't all the way there. And so there was a conversation that was had, and Applewhite low-key got under my skin the first half of that season. And low-key, that was the game where he had called me before that game and kind of, told me he was going to finally kind of let me loose a little bit more. And all I could think was the first half of the season. And I was just like, all right. I think, and I don't know, maybe somebody might've got banged up too. Maybe Joe did.
I think Joe may have fumbled early in that game, I think. And then
maybe so.
You got some run after
and
that.
So it was just a point I had to prove of just all right, y'all ain't gonna give me this, what I thought I was gonna get. So now I have to I really have to go do this. And it just so happened to line up to the OU game where everybody turned anyways. And so that's a good find.
Now that run was one of those
moment.
It's one of those runs I don't forget because again, knowing you as long as I had, seeing how you up after running that guy over, I was like, well, That's different. That's a Malcolm Brown I haven't seen before.
Yeah, I think me and Jay Gray went over 100 that game. I didn't score a touchdown. I think he did, but like I do remember the feeling like there were no hits in that game that hurt me. There was nothing that was just, it was just nothing in my way during that moment, like at all. And I remember them conversations right before the game and just how the first half of the season played with. So yeah, that was a moment for sure.
And putting it on the Sooners is always good.
Yeah,
I'm jealous that there was no hits that game that hurt you.
I know. That's a beautiful line.
I was literally thinking to
I
myself.
never heard a running back say that. That's a beautiful line.
I
No hits
swear to
that hurt
God,
me.
I swear to God, the thought that came to my head was like, oh man, I didn't have enough Wakanda. Because every game we ever played, well, I still feel it. I don't,
man.
no, ooh, that's a different zone right there.
Yeah, I was in flow state.
Do we want to take a few questions from the crowd, and then we can wrap it up?
Let's do
Before
it.
we get to that, Malcolm, I did have one thing that I noticed. I was digging through all your stats, and your high school stats were incredible. And Jeff probably remembers what I'm going to ask. I did see that your passing statistics in high school, that you were 0 for 1 with an interception. Do you remember this play?
Man, I haven't thrown a pass since. Man, we were playing maybe Alamo Heights or something. I can't remember who we was playing. But what's crazy is I think we were up. I don't think it was all the way 7 points. And man, we decided to try to like seal the game or something with a halfback pass. It was just a halfback toss. I would pass to the receiver, the simple thing. Man, I threw it up. The receiver's name was Darian Ray. I remember my dog D-Ray, man. Shout out to him. I still talk to him to this day. That's my dog. I threw it up. I thought he had a chance. I think there was another receiver that was near. Right? It got picked off in the end zone, right? They brought it out the end zone. Man, they drove the ball down the entire field. And I think they scored and went for a 2 and didn't convert the 2-point conversion, I think. And we won the game. It was something crazy like that.
Crucial pick.
So I have not passed the ball ever since. Even in the NFL, they offer it. I was like, man, I ain't doing that. No. I got.
Hold on. But you were turning it down. You said no.
Did Sean McVay offer who?
Yeah, we was practicing it. And I was like, hey man,
Sean McVay believed in you, and you decided you didn't believe in yourself.
I was traumatized. I still think about that. Like, we started practicing. He kind of asking who want to do it. I'm fading away in the back. I'm like, no, man.
Homer Simpson,
man. Yeah, one of them. But yeah, I definitely remember that game. Like,
That's funny.
Okay, real quick, can you just tell us about Sean McVay?
Yeah.
I mean, because you were there with him in infancy as a head coach.
Yeah,
there?
man, Sean's amazing. To be honest with you, like he's a certified psychopath. Like he's dialed in. Like he's on a different level. I'm sure, like if any of you guys, have watched anything of him, like how he spits out plays and like how he can just go on and on and on, and like how precise that dude is like a different level. And it's so like, it seems complex, but like to us players, how he's broken down plays, the words he uses, the tags he uses, like they're all relatable. He starts to dive into the culture a little bit, like of like the younger guys' culture to just like
terms.
Yeah, just as far as his terms and what he's calling, like he simplifies, what looks complex, he simplifies it, and the way he hires too and gets everybody on the same page is it's phenomenal. To be honest with you, like that is one of the he's probably like one of the greatest coaches I've been around as far as like that mindset on offense and making complex things simple in order for us to truly understand and know what we're doing, why we're doing it, how we're doing it, like to the smallest detail that you can think of. Like it was crazy. And I left for a year to Miami, and to be completely honest, like that's when I found out like the importance of coaching. Like I got levels to that. Man, it's real levels to this. And so like luckily I was with him basically my entire career. I did a little bit of Jeff Fisher too. Jeff Fisher and Les Snead, they got me in free agency. But when Sean came in and just the way he is, man, like y'all have no idea. Like he's a madman, and I know he's even more advanced now, which is mind blowing to me to even think about.
He was a baby at coaching.
Yeah, exactly, man. So shout out to Sean. Like he's for real. He's the real deal. Seriously.
That's awesome. All right, does anybody have any questions out there? And if you would just yell it out, and then I'll read it back so the people, or I'll say it back so the people at home can hear it too.
Hey, I do have a comment. I appreciate John Hills addressing the running back situation, because I was really disappointed that we lost our 2 starting running backs from last season. We follow them in recruiting and you're building them up. And, Sark talks about culture. And for us to lose those 2 guys, I'm glad that Jeremy says, hey, the 2 guys that we're bringing in are going to be true difference makers. And, it's all about trying to win the national championship. But I'll be honest, I was a little disappointed that, we lost Baxter and we lost Wisner, who I felt played their hearts out for UT.
I'll tell you, like,
Will you repeat the question just or roughly?
Oh, yeah,
so you don't
no.
have to repeat all of it.
yeah, what he's saying is like he's happy that we touched on what we expect from the running backs coming up for this upcoming season, but super disappointed that guys that we follow. I mean, let's be honest, you follow these kids through the high school journeys and then through the recruitment process, and then you're hoping that they find a value in the school that you love, and when they do, you're excited thinking that you're going to see them for 3 to 4 years, and that's just the old world. That the tough realization is that we are entering a space in sports at the college and the pro level where the lines are being blurred in ways that I don't think we've ever really imagined before, and I don't see anything stopping it from blurring even more. You got cases where, like, if you really just think about this and you break it down for a second, you got cases where somebody was drafted or signed as a free agent in the month of April, and then they spent that time with that team throughout the summer into camp August, and now there's a world where that person leaves in August and goes back to school. Like, think about that. They spent from April to August in another city and state, moved themselves. Are they young with a family? Is there kids involved? Are you looking for school for your little one? And now they're enrolling back into Chem 301 as they gear up for another college football season. Like, that's an actual reality, right? So, like, I say that to say, unfortunately, for the purist of college football, I think you should prepare yourself for change, because what we will see is a free market and roster decisions being made the way that they're made at the top level of sport. That is what college sports are now. I don't want to say will become. That's what they are now. So who cost what and what do we need? And based on our needs, who can we pay? These will be decision drivers. So, like, I believe burn orange and nothing else. But what I tell everybody is, enjoy what we got right now. One of my oldest brothers, he loves Orange Bloods. He loves you guys. Like, he knows what y'all eat for breakfast.
He comments on everything we post.
Yeah, right. And he's always saying, man, I love how we set up because we got this person right now and then we're going to develop it. I'm like, hold on. Hey, slow down, buddy. We got what we got right now. We got to look at this thing by year basis. There are no guarantees that somebody that you think is going to be ready for next season is even on this roster next year. So the unfortunate truth is like, I think we found out why Nick Saban retired.
Well, and Hills, I think this gets lost in a lot of you and I got to spend a lot of time with CJ Baxter and a lot of time with Trey Wisner, and like I feel like the sentiment out there is if a kid leaves, they didn't care about Texas, they didn't like Texas, that kind of stuff. And it's not that. Like, we got to spend time with those kids. They love Texas. CJ and Trey are incredible human beings, but now it's situational. It's different, right? And so I think we need a mindset shift in a way of, like, it doesn't necessarily mean that they didn't want to be here, they don't like Texas. It's just that they had to do what's best for them. And and these kids, they have a moment right now where a lot of them are more like valuable financially at that moment than they're ever going to be. And so you've got to do what's best for you. And so, we don't know their situations always. We don't know what's going on. So I think that's an important piece of that too. So
I think one of the rare cases that we've seen where the love for Texas and the ability to think maturely about life down the line outweighed the opportunity for right now gain, and that was Quinn Ewers' situation, where he entered the draft knowing that he could likely get a lot more coin by going somewhere northeast and playing football for a year. But he looked at the total picture and decided that's not what he wanted to do. I'll tell you, that's probably 1 in 100 maybe. So, like, the facts of the matter there is we will see Parker Livingstone playing on, what color is that again? It's something
ugly,
around red or
ugly crimson.
Yeah, right. And to Nick's point, I know CJ well. Talked to him last week. CJ didn't want to leave, but circumstances and changes had to happen. And to be honest, I do believe it was what was best for Texas. So it's a really, really, really wild world right now. And Mal, I'm curious what you think. Had we lived in that world, do you honestly think that there's a 2013 season that says Joe Bergeron, Jonathan Gray, and Malcolm Brown are trying to share the football?
Nope.
It's probably not the case. Yeah. Mal's probably at UTSA.
Was that it? While you dissing UTSA?
Man, let it roll, runner.
Man, Hills fired shots in Houston in his hometown yesterday. Now he's fired shots in San Antonio.
I've been telling Mal a long time, you got to have fun.
I think Jay Hill was setting that joke up the whole time now. I think
It's a look, 3-minute setup.
3-minute setup.
Chappelle special.
We have one more question. Yes, sir.
The loss of Wagner, that really does hit home because he was a Aggie killer and an OU killer.
Yeah.
Okay? Do you think these backs will be what he was in those rivalry?
So the question is,
One more thing. We got to get some true dirt on.
oh yeah, I co-sign that.
We gotta turn the cameras off.
I want to answer that one first.
It's a two-part question.
I want to answer part 2, and then anybody else can answer both.
So
There's
it's a
no
two-part
dirt.
question.
I'm an actual saint. That is it.
The second part of the question was, can we get some real dirt on Jeremy Hills? And the first part was the Trey Wisner transfer really hit this gentleman hard because he was such an Aggie killer and such a rival killer. And do y'all think that we have found a replacement that can be that?
So I'll step in real quick. I think that they're different backs than Trey Wisner. Like Trey Wisner's, he had a great feel for timing, especially on the cutback on the wide zone. And the linebackers at both A&M and OU, they follow and they track hard. They're both coaches, by the way, defensive coordinators, really coach up. They both are the individual linebacker coaches too. And so they teach those guys to flow hard. And Wisner just had a really good feel for that cutback game, I think. And so I don't know if Raleek Brown or Hollywood Smothers will necessarily feel that way, but I will say this: Texas made that decision. It's not on Trey Wisner or CJ Baxter that they're not there. To Jeremy's point, I would back that up. But at the same time, it's Steve Sarkisian and Brandon Harris's job to go win football games. And Malcolm went to the pros. He's seen that before and those kind of decisions made. And it's tougher. But at the same time, I think that there is a path forward for college football that I could see a free market that also has a number of years attached to an agreement, as opposed to like y'all grew up, it was year-to-year scholarship.
Yep.
I mean, that doesn't have to be the case. They can sign 3-4 year agreements if they want to. And I think maybe someday that's where it gets to, and then maybe it's a free market on the entry, but not necessarily all the way through. So I think some of that can be mitigated, but it has to be. I still think that it's a young market that's defining itself, and until it gets structure to it, it's more like what Jeremy's saying. It's every man for himself a little bit.
Yeah, I'll just add just real quick, Jay Hills, you mentioned, they don't call Hollywood because he's boring, right? Otherwise they'd call him Waco probably.
CJ was loading up.
I've been waiting to get that one off. But point is, look, look, before 2024, when Texas and A&M renewed that rivalry, right, no one knew Trey Wisner was going to be a guy that ran for 190 yards in back-to-back games, right? That opportunity will be there for someone like Raleigh Brown or Hollywood or Derek Cooper, for that matter, right? Who knows if Michael Terry's even in the mix? I know we're in San Antonio, right? But that opportunity in those big games will be there. And with this offense and what the way Jeff laid out, what should be a better offensive line, you don't know who your next rivalry killer is. And, I know it's kind of unfortunate that's a 1-year situation at times, but hey, mercenaries get paid and mercenaries get remembered whenever they go lay the giant, right? So that's kind of how I look at this year with this roster. You got to have a lot of talent to kind of pick your poison when it comes to Oklahoma, Texas A&M, and everybody else on this schedule.
Well, this has been awesome. I think it's time we wrap. I've got a laundry list of things I got to get through. First off, shout out to Mark Higgins. He is the most underappreciated guy on our show. He doesn't get to be on camera. He has been some idiot forgot their power cord on the camera, me. And he's been handing me little pieces of paper with the percentage we have left to make sure we don't run out of stuff. So I'm a real professional, everyone. But also, shout out to San Antonio for coming out. You guys are awesome. Big shout out to one of our friends of the family is here, Mr. Cuts. If you guys have not seen what Cuts does, Cuts makes these incredible cutouts, and he does a lot of cool stuff. So if you want to check him out, Cuts, C-U-T-Z by Jones, J-O-N-E-Z. He's the man. So he's on Instagram. Does really cool stuff. Also, the folks at Atlee's Rally, this bar that hosted us, this place is phenomenal. If you guys haven't been down to this area in San Antonio, it's awesome. James, everybody there, you guys are awesome. We appreciate y'all. And also, Malcolm's got a little spot around the corner too called Miles that he took us to. So check it out. Like, get down here. It's right by the Alamo Dome. Like, this whole area is super cool. If you want to watch sports, these screens apparently at Atlee's Rally were supposed to go in SoFi Stadium. So these are like top of the line. These are big time. So thank y'all so much. Thanks everybody out there. We appreciate y'all coming out. For Jeff Howe, Rod Babers, Bobby Burton, CJ Bogle, Jeremy Hills, Malcolm Brown, I'm Nick Shuley. We appreciate y'all. Hook 'em.